tell you that I grew up with Red Omen, and boy was he a neat kid. He had all sorts of really cool things to play with, like a plutonium spaceship lunchbox and a bathtub full of Lego. And I didn't believe you when somebody said that he fled with Jimi Hendrix to a UFO type base camp up on Machu Picchu. Up on Machu Picchu. I said, excuse me, it's not my fault. He's playing the crime so he can't get caught. I said, excuse me, I must confess. Well, give me 2 words. Well, in my defense, laughing mad. I'm laughing mad. Laughing mad.
You're listening to Jeff Norton, live from Florida's Nature Coast.
That is right. We are live. I am back. You're listening to Jeff Norton, the Midnight. Oh, it's not the Midnight Ocean. There you go. There's a drinking game right there. Morning News Radio. It's not midnight. You did not time warp back in time. No, this is Morning News, Jeff. No, for those that don't know, those that know me, know that the old show. That was the old name. But no, this is Morning News Radio, the Jeff Norton Show. I am your host, Jeff Norton. You join me here live every weekday from 6 a.m. till 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at Red State Talk Radio. Go to redstatetalkradio.com. We're getting our website slowly and surely. It's a toil process. I do have to apologize, but I'm not going to apologize because, we have to pay some bills. And the way we do that is that it's the whole cobbler children argument that we make and everything. We have to take care of the paying customers before we can make our own shoes, right? And that's exactly what's going on right now. That's why we're a little bit behind the 8 ball on getting our website stood up and some of the other things that we need to do is because we're too focused on taking care of customers. But enough of that. If you'd like to join in the conversation, the phone lines are open, 402-858-1938. That's 402-858-1938. Love to hear from you. Yeah, that's one of the phone says, that's one of the things we are working on. We for those that don't know, my day job, I write software. I'm a software guy. And, we write software for some of the bigger call center. It is safe to say that you have used my software when you call in for tech support or call your local agent or pharmacy or whatever. Those are my customers, credit card companies, things like that. So one of the things that we have done is that we've opened up a whole division. The podcasting is just an incredible beat. I'm a firm believer that podcasting eventually will take over radio. Will. And think about it. The amount of shows that were out there before, and this is the thing that has New World Media concerned. And this is why they're trying to regulate it. That's why Facebook, we were talking about Facebook and thing, and this whole fake news. If you're not part of the mainstream news, right, part of their little clique, you must be fake news. Because they're scared to death. Because they know, it's like the whole typewriter, all the dang computers. You own the typewriter manufacturing company, right? It's the same thing. And so what they're doing, mainstream media, what they're doing is you're watching. I'm sitting back with popcorn because you're watching them in their dying death throes. And That's because of podcasters. That's because now we have the ability to get information out there. I mean, it's a beautiful world. You can go to Apple or even Alexa, and I mean, there's literally hundreds of thousands of different shows. We're small fish. Now, we were I don't want to say one of the first, but yeah, I started doing podcasts. Gosh, man, my first podcast that we did before it was even called a podcast was out of Chicago in about mid 2000. Wow. It was three guys sitting around our table talking about politics. And we were hosting, we didn't have any of the podcast feeds and stuff. We were actually hosting our own Shoutcast servers. Yeah. And we were so happy when we had 5 listeners or 10 listeners. We thought that was awesome. Good old days. Reminisce. Think about it. But enough of that. Let's get to the news at hand. I mean, the big one here is, of course, Senate showdown, likely over Gorsuch confirmation. I'm a firm believer, Paul. Look, win at all costs. Look, the opposition, I'm going to call them the opposition, they have a mindset that they're going to disrupt, destroy, vandalize, falsify, terrorize. They're going to do whatever they have to do to get their point across. So why shouldn't the right be allowed? Oh, they can't do that. Well, yes, they can. The nuclear option. It's been used before. And when we talk about the nuclear option, basically they're, the Republicans, the GOP, which run the Senate, he who has the money, in other words, in this case, he who has the votes, makes all the rules. And they do. And that's exactly what's going to probably happen with Gore. And of course, the Dems are, all that are. But I wonder if Maxine Waters is going to get up there and say, not my Supreme Court justice. Remember that? I do not honor this man. It's amazing, though, when he was a federal judge and stuff, he passed with flying colors. They loved him. And, it's all about the death rolls of the judicial, the grasp that the left had on the judicial side of our three-legged political system, right? They enjoyed it when the Supreme Court was ruling in all of their favors, and Obamacare and same-sex and LGBTQRSYZ, XYW related issues. They loved it. And now there's a potential for that to shift. Now, right now, I mean, Gorsuch, I think, is a little bit less conservative than Scalia. Or left, a little bit more left-leaning than, the late Justice Scalia, the one that he's replacing. So they ought to be happy with that. Now, I actually think there's going to be 2 more times. Think about it. We could actually have a Supreme Court who is the furthest right leaning than we've seen in my lifetime, at least. Because there's possibly 2 more. Yeah, you got Kennedy and you got Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who are probably going to, unfortunately, retire one way or the other. I don't think Kennedy will, but I think he's just going to retire. He'll probably hang on. I think he's in good health. But who would ever think Scalia, if he had help in his passing or not, but who would ever think? So you never know. You never know. We might even have more, but I think there's probably 2 more gonna go. So that's gonna definitely shift the tide of the bench. Now I'm wondering if the Supreme Court justices are going to come out and do what their cohorts in Congress do. Attack each other. I have to say that is one thing that you never hear the Supreme Court justices attack each other. They don't stand up in front of court, and there's a decorum there. I don't think it's far beyond, though. I think it is eventually going to happen. You're going to hear about it on the news. They're going to fight with each other or do whatever, right? It's only a matter of time. It really is. It's only a matter of time before they go after each other. Eventually. I don't know. Don't know. Don't care. Who cares? Well, we all do. Now, so that's what's going on this weekend, or this week. Probably going to see that nuclear option get kicked in. You know, the other big news is China and North Korea. Zhao is coming. Xi. He's coming. He's going to play some golf with Trump, probably. They're going to get along. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting conversation, I am sure. And I don't think personally, I actually think this administration, when it comes to foreign politics, our relationships with other nations, I think we're fine. I think Tillerson's doing a great job. I think we're fine there. Except the looming monster that, and we need to put that rabid dog down. And when I talk about rabid dog, I talk about North Korea. We should have put him down a long time ago. I mean, it really is a huge problem that can be resolved with a 5-cent solution. And yes, I do believe violence does solve some issues. I am a firm believer in that. That there are times in which violence does, unfortunately, does resolve some issues. And we just need to take care of that dog. We need to put that rabid dog down. I mean, it's not like Old Yeller. No one's going to cry. Well, North Koreans will, but they don't know better. They are completely programmed. They have no idea. But, like I said, it's not like Old Yeller where you're going to cry because you had to put him down. It's just something that needs to be done. He's just a rabid dog, and he just needs to be taken out. So you got North Korea, but you got Xi coming. He's gonna go to Mar-a-Lago. I don't know if they're going to Mar-a-Lago. I know that there is golf involved. What do you guys think about Trump and his golfing there? Personally, I don't care if he golfs. And he's doing business. I mean, he met with, over the weekend on the links. He sat down and he played a couple rounds of golf, or played a round of golf with Rand Paul, trying to negotiate a deal with healthcare. Trying to get healthcare. I read Rand Paul's healthcare legislation. Now, granted, it doesn't give everybody health care, and there isn't the government subsidies for those that can. But I don't think the government needs to get into that business. I'm a firm believer. I don't, social programs to me are they incite or they encourage laziness. I've always been a firm believer that hunger is the best motivator. And I know that's right. Oh, the kids. I'm not talking about the kids. Let's, take care of our young and take care of our old and the people that cannot take care of themselves. The people that can take care of themselves, go get a job. Go get a job. I was in